Welcome to Transforming Detroit. I am your host, Dr. Princess-Odilia, life coach and author. I am here each week to help you come to reach your life's highest potential. We here on Transforming Detroit hope that you will be inspired, educated, and entertained, as well provided the best resources that you need to reach your life's dreams. Well, this week we have a phenomenal guest, Mr. Itsy Lieberman. He is the 2012 Michigan Humanitarian, and also he has a great track record here in Michigan. We're very proud to have him in the studio. Hello, Itsy. How are you?
Princess, I'm very honored to be here, and I welcome that you chose me, and now I'm going to be a good guest for you.
Well, I am so happy to have you here, Itsy. I'm very excited to get into our discussion and to share the story, because I know it's going to inspire a lot of people. But before we do, we're going to take a break. We have a very brief break. Don't you go anywhere. I want you to stay tuned, as we will be right back with Mr. Itsy Lieberman on the other side.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Welcome back to Transforming Detroit. I am your host, Dr. Princess-Odilia, and today we have another special guest. As I said, Mr. Itsy Lieberman. How are you, Itsy?
I'm very fine, and how are you?
I am doing just fabulous today. It's been a wonderful week, so I'm glad to top it off with you. So Itsy, I'm very excited about the things that you've done in your life. I read your book, 60 Years Young.
With Itsy.
With Itsy. And I have seen all of the accomplishments that you've made, the people that run in your circle, and to hear your story is so inspiring. So what I would like to do first is to start off with, where did Itsy come from, that little boy?
That little boy came, and I think when I was 5 years old. There was a song, Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, and I was 6'7", and but my dad took me down to 5'6". so that became my nickname. All from then on, I was an Itsy. Don't I look like an Itsy?
That's cute. That's really cute. Now, but Itsy, you had a home that was carried on by two very hard-working parents.
Yes, oh yeah. Yes,
and there were times that you felt like, man, can't there be another way? But I want you to share with us a little bit about your life as a child.
Okay. My dad was a restaurateur. And he owned a restaurant called the Avalon Restaurant, and he was a very well-known person, and he worked very hard. And my mother worked with him very hard. In the restaurant. So when I was born, we lived on Grand Avenue down in Detroit. I'm a Detroiter all the way, and I'm proud to say that. When my dad and mom were working so much, they would take me to the Avalon show, and they would put me in the back seat of the in the show, and Bill Davison, who was owned the Detroit Pistons, he owned the Avalon show, and they would come into the show at 2 o'clock in the morning to go home and pick me up, and I'd go home. And so from the Grand Avenue, we moved to Waverly, and my dad still had the Avalon, and what happened was it burned. It was a tragic thing. It burned
so
down.
the whole business burned, and that shifted everything for the family.
Yeah, and then we went out to Oak Park, and my dad was a very charismatic man. I mean, he knew everybody, and he walked around with a cigar, and everybody would know him, and he had that charisma that everybody would like him. He smiled, and he was so kind, and my mother, she was such a sweetheart. And so we went to Oak Park, and I went to a junior high at Oak Park. And then what happened was they came to me and they said, "Itsy, we got some news for you." And I said, what do you mean, Mom and Dad?" And then they said, "Well, my dad opened another restaurant, and they said, we're going to have to send you to a military academy." I said, "What?" I said, "Why?" "Because you don't have time. You eat at the restaurant, and then you go home, and nobody's watching you, and so on and so forth. And then when we come home, it's the best for you and the best for us." So I said, "Oh, okay, I'll do it."
About how old were you then?
Oh, 12.
So you were 12,
Mm-hmm.
and you felt at that time you were kind of being pulled out of your home and your comfort zone.
Yes,
because they had to work.
They had to work. A mom and dad working, and a son
Kind of
left to watch television. Okay, so I went to a military academy at Roosevelt in Illinois. I didn't like it the first year. I didn't like it. I got, homesick and so on and so forth, and the discipline. You get up with a trumpet.
That really happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's reveille. They get you up 5:30 in the morning. So anyway. I survived my first year, and the second year was a little better. But as time went on, it got better and better, and I left Roosevelt Military Academy. I was the most valuable athlete. I was in the Victorian of the school.
Oh, really?
I was. I won a lot of honors, and then after that, now here's the situation. I had a lot of scholarship offers, about 8-9 of them, from all the schools, for football and baseball, and one in basketball, DePaul. And me being 5'6", Ray Meyer took a liking to me, and I said, well, anyway. So I said, I said to myself, what am I going to do? Should I go back home, or should I go to Carleton College, Western Illinois? What should I do? And I said, okay, I'm going home. I've missed home for 4 years. I'm going home, and I went to Eastern Michigan, and I played 1 year of football there, and I was in the Arm of Honor. And then my dad went bankrupt,
Wow.
So
And how old were you at that time?
I was about, let's see, about 20 years old.
So at 20 years old, your father went bankrupt. And here comes another situation with your family that would put a different spin on your life and what
Yeah.
you had planned.
Well, I had to go back to Detroit, and I went to Wayne State, and I played football there. But you know what? During my life, I had to claw my way through my life, and
You had to work hard.
I had to work hard. So I go back home, and Vivian, who's my wife for 47 years, we met at Eastern. And I go back and I played football at Wayne State. And I got up in the morning about 6 o'clock, went to school from 8 to 12, went to, my football coach got me a job for 3 hours a day, and then I went to football practice. Went home. And Vivian and I had this thing. We were doing engraving name badges for conventions, and I had to help my family, my mom and my dad, and so on and so forth. So. I went to Wayne and I played football there for 3 years, and then I threw the javelin and so on and so forth, and then I graduated out of Wayne State, and from there, I had a chance. One of my buddies who was a football coach at Lake Orion, he got the job, and he said to me, I got to have you. You got to come with me. I just got the job at Lake Orion. I said, Tommy, they lost 18 games in a row. That's an A school. So Tom says to me, I don't care. I got to have you. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I went to Lake Orion with him, and we broke the 18-game winning streak.
And that's what I was going to mention too, and we can just real briefly, because I want to sum up your childhood.
Yeah.
Your childhood is one that a lot of people, especially in Detroit, can relate to.
Oh, sure.
Where it wasn't just the fact that you had parents that had a restaurant, and it's not like, oh, you were just born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
No.
I mean, you had to deal with a family that had regular family issues. You were an only child.
Right.
And you're there. You felt kind of alone. I'm sure you went through that in your life.
Yeah.
And then you had to push through that
Yeah.
to get to where you had to go and to where you are today. And speaking of your football career, because we're going to take a break in a moment, but I just want to say, in your football career, tell us how successful that became, because you actually made a couple of pros out there in sports. So why don't you share that?
In sports.
In sports.
I went to, after Lake Orion, I went to Country Day, and we were 8th in the state, and so on and so forth. Then, what I'm really proud of, 14 of my baseball players in the Connie Mack teams, we were 58-4, signed major league contracts.
That is so awesome.
And I was then Indiana University. The baseball coach had me come to speak in front of 500 people at Indiana University
Okay.
with Indiana people and Kentucky people, and I just loved it. And coming from Michigan and going there, I just loved it. So it was a great thing, and I was really happy at Country Day. We were 8th in the state, and then I was offered a job to go in college,
Awesome.
coaching from there.
From there.
And then I'll tell you what happened to my career.
Right, because
Yeah.
your life from that point really took a turn.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want you to go anywhere. For those of you who are listening, watching, I want you to stay tuned, because we'll be right back after this with more Transforming Detroit with our guest, Itsy Lieberman.
Get up and get groovy. Kid, what's up with you? Let's get up and play. Do something. Stop slumping like a lump all day. Get on up, come on. Get out the door. Let's shake that booty like never before. Let's run, have fun. Let's jump and groove. Get up and get that body up. Make it move.
Get up, and be a player. Get up.
Woo. Let's run, have fun. Get up and be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day.
Ouch! Sorry. For cool playtime ideas, go online. Just don't stay long.
Well, welcome back to Transforming Detroit. And I'm your host, Dr. Princess-Odilia, here with our fabulous guest today, Mr. Itsy Lieberman. I want you to stay tuned, because we were talking just before we went to break. You shared your story, your childhood story with us, and went into a little bit of how you've done so well, what you accomplished in the sports arena, etc., against all odds. And I think it's very important to highlight, because your story can inspire so many people, because you didn't just come from some little easy beginnings. So I applaud you for that. Now, fast forwarding, your life didn't just spear off to great success again. You had to encounter some other challenges. You want to share that with us?
Yes. Well, I went into corporate America, and I was in corporate America 40 years. But what I had to do, my dad died, and he left me with a lot of debt. He was a guy that wanted to play cards and horses and so on and so forth.
Right.
So the bankers just said, "What are you going to do about it? He owes $350,000." I said, "I'm going to pay it. I'm going to pay every dime of it." And I said, "That's what I'm going to do." Well, I did, and they wanted to. They ran on the right in a paper, because it was in when Carter was president. The interest rates was 20%, and they wanted to write a big article in the paper about that, and about me standing up and showing people, that I paid a debt with the. And I said, "No, you're not. You're not going to do that. My dad's legacy is him, and I won't let you do that. I don't want anybody to know he died broke," and I had to pay it, and that was it. And then from there, I was very successful for there, but I had to claw my way.
Claw your way through.
Yeah, I clawed my way.
Because I just want to say this: you did not have to take care of that debt.
You're right. I didn't have to.
You didn't have to do that. That's something you chose to do.
But I'm an honorable man, and I'm a gentleman.
Yes, you are.
And my dad taught me. My dad taught me to be kind and a gentleman. He had some, charisma and everything, but I give a lot of credit to him. And
Awesome.
then I went into corporate America, and now here's what happened. I had a bypass surgery when I was 48 years old, and so I didn't know what to do.
At 30 years old, bypass surgery.
No, 48.
48
Yeah,
years old.
and I had I was doing real well in business. I owned my own business with Joe Valenti, and I bought him out. And anyway, I didn't know what to do, so I sold my business, and I was happy to sell it, and it was a good thing. And then I was president of the company, and then I went into we were bought out. We were bought out, and we went on the New York Exchange.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they asked. Listen to this, doctor. They told me to sit with the president of Wall Street. Because I was
wow.
president, and I said,
And president of what company? What was the name of the company?
It was Halo. It
That's
was
right.
based in Chicago. So anyway, I said, I'm not sitting with him. Oh no! And they said, the chairman said, yes, you are. So my wife and I sat with him, and then I. After a couple more years, boom, Ford bought they bought me out.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful buyout.
Wow.
And I loved corporate America. However, I was relentless.
Right.
I had a bypass surgery. I had some of my colon taken out.
Oh wow.
I had a colostomy when you with a bag.
With a bag.
With a bag, I had three hernias.
Oh wow.
I had a heart attack. All these things, but I never gave up. I was relentless.
I love that.
And I was relentless. And so and at my age right now, I teach kids
Tai Chi. Sunrise Chi.
Sunrise Chi with Itsy. So if I want to say to a person that what is this? What is an Itsy? He's relentless.
He's relentless.
Yes.
Well, Itsy, I also want to say this. I want to thank you for having a heart and not forgetting where you came from.
Absolutely.
That is so important. And I say that because I'm thinking specifically, you probably know where I'm going, the young lady that you helped in Detroit that had lost her home around Christmas time. And
Yes.
you
Yes.
went above and beyond just by watching the news, seeing her trouble. You called the news, insist for information. You're trying to find this woman, and you go out to Detroit and you help this woman during Christmas. I guess that's why you're the Michigan humanitarian for 2012. It's about time.
Well,
So,
yeah.
Itsy, you should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It shows that you have passion for people, and you don't. So many people step on one another, and so on and so forth, and they don't care. But it's.
I saw the passion in your eyes when I first met you, and you didn't even know. But at the time when I met you, I was homeless, and I saw you you turned your head. You were like, "What?" Because I still tried to hold it together.
Yeah.
In the same way.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely awesome meeting you, and just feeling your energy, your common nature is just absolutely awesome. People wouldn't know the people that the circle that you run in. People would never imagine. So when you're saying what you've given to Detroit, and that was a seed of Detroit. You're a seed of Detroit. You being the Michigan humanitarian, what does that mean for Detroit?
Well, I'll tell you something. that's really neat. When I won that award, it was from the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, and you know who won that award before me?
Who?
Mike Ilitch, Detroit. Carmenos, Detroit. Gordie Howe, Detroit. Willie Horton, Detroit. Let's see, Schembechler, Michigan. All those people, and when I got the call that I had won that
Yes.
award, I said to myself that I am in that venue. I am in that venue.
Yes, you
and
are.
and
Front page, front line, and speaker.
and you know what I said? You know what I said?
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah. Oh. and you know.
Well deserving.
And you know what I said to myself? I said, Larry Sherman called me and said, "You won the award." You know what I said to myself?
What'd you say?
Schembechler, Ilitch, Howe, Horton, all those people. I'm now Itsy.
Well, as they say, I'm so glad we had this time together. You remember that from Carol Burnett?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you joined in again another week on Transforming Detroit. I hope today, with our Michigan humanitarian, whom we are very, very proud of. Thank you, Itsy, for being here on Transforming Detroit.
I'll come here anytime you want me
And
to.
I'll have you back anytime you want to come back. Well, listen, guys, I want you to be inspired. I want you to take it up, what Itsy has offered for you. Give him a call. You'll see his information right here on the screen. I want you to get a hold of Itsy Lieberman. And I also want you to get his book, 60 Years Young. It is a very powerful, powerful, powerful story. I want you to join me on Facebook, Dr. Princess-Odilia. Also join me at bountifulgroup.com. Thanks Detroit City Council for this opportunity to give light to you. I'm telling you. And you're going to be surprised because we've got people coming from all around excited about this movement here for Transforming Detroit. See you next week.